Hey guys, Boris House from BK Forex. Welcome to our Forex Daily Technicals for 5, 10, 13. Dollar, dollar, dollar. It's all about the dollar today. Trading foreign exchange with margin carries high level risk may not be suitable for investors. So I invite you to read the disclaimer very carefully to understand all risks associated with trading foreign exchange on margin. So yes, this is the story of the day today. And as we're talking right now, we're making fresh highs in dollar yen on our way towards the 101 level. 101.50, very, very long-term resistance. If you want to look back all the way, I think 4 years. Let's go back weekly to actually a 10-year chart because that's how long we got to go back to. And we'll see that, look at this, right here. Right here is where we resist around 101.50. We're at 190 right now. On our way, obviously, trying to see if we can clear the 101 target in the start of the Asian session. Massive, massive, massive bull rally today, of course, took out everything in its sight at the 100 level, and looks very, very promising as far as the trade goes. What's interesting about this, I think, is that the dollar yen trade, in many ways, is very symptomatic of how FX trades. It basically, everybody was watching this level very, very carefully, but once the level took off, it just tends to really continue for generally 100, sometimes 150 pips before we meet really, really stiff resistance. When you have these very seminal levels, I think a lot of the initial impulse to short the seminal level tends to just create more short covering as we go higher. We don't have any data tomorrow on the U.S. side. It's really just going to be flows and momentum as we go. But momentum clearly is attracted a lot of fresh flows into here. Once we take out 100, it looks like we have a way to go towards possibly 103, 105 over the next several weeks as far as the technicals go, because it certainly looks very, very positive at this point. Euro, on the other hand, suffering the other way because dollar strength is certainly having an impact. The key level here, everybody's focused on the 30 level, which obviously is very important, and it may give. I mean, it feels like it's going to give certainly before the end of the session. But the really big level, the really key support level to watch here is the 29.50. I've been saying for a very long time that where's this here? Here's the 29.50. We're basically effectively, for all intents and purposes, trading 32.50, 29.50 range. And now we're inching our way towards the lower end of this range. Now, I don't think that 29.50 is going to give very easily. There probably will be support. Very likely we may even have a double bottom here, another value proposition where to buy it up. But if we don't really come back or bounce hard off of 29.50, this battering of the support here could really break us down and take us all the way down to 27.50 over the next several weeks. So for the near term, the trade right now focuses 130. The 130 breaks, then the focus obviously is towards 29.50 as the European session unwinds. Oops, sorry, hit the wrong button. Aussie, also very, very interesting. Aussie definitely had just an unbelievable reversal there. Look at this. What a flush, man. God, talk about longs getting just completely hammered. Big, big move up, complete flame out, fake out, and Aussie still continues to be pressed to the downside. There's a couple of reasons for it. Obviously, dollar strength, but the other interesting reason that I read today in the Dow Jones was that as the yen gets cheaper, the Aussie becomes more expensive in the sense that Japan apparently is the #2 export market for Australia. So if the yen loses its value, all of Australian goods become very, very expensive. So therefore, the Aussie begins to depreciate in order to remain competitive into that secondary market. So it's kind of an interesting side note, which I thought was possibly another driver of downward flows. Aussie certainly looking to want to test the 150 level, of course, and then beyond that, the very, very big parity level that is just looming large. I mentioned today on CNBC that Aussie CAD still continues to be a very, very good trade to the downside. And just as Aussie goes to parity, Aussie CAD is eyeing parity. CAD, of all of the calm dollars, held up the best today against the dollar. Really didn't rally much. Basically started the day just below 1050 and came up, 30, 40 points. Hardly a move, given that everybody else was moving 100 points against the dollar to the downside. Tomorrow we have Canadian employment data. I think the parity level is going to be very sticky. It's going to be tough to just break it, in half. But I do think if we have positive Canadian data, that parity is going to come into play as a potential trade. And below parity, it's really 99.75 is a key support level here from a long time ago that looms large. So CADI continues to be the strong attractor on the commodity dollar side, and Aussie CAD continues to be an interesting short, especially if we have positive Canadian data tomorrow. Definitely worth a look. The lows here, by the way, what's the low here? It's basically 28.25. So let's just call it 101.20 as fresh lows to Aussie CAD that could usher in a move closer towards parity as we go forward. And cable just sort of doing its own thing. Cable failed at 56. We've been saying that cable has been failing at 56 for a long time, but it does hold 54.50 relatively well. I think this 5400, 5450, a key support level here for cable, and definitely worth examining as a possible bargain hunting. See, this is what's the highest here. This is about the highest 54. Former resistance becomes fresh support. I do think cable is going to get very sticky through these levels. It's going to take a lot to slice it down much below 5400 in the next day or two. So that's pretty much how everything shapes up, I think. Obviously, yen is the front and center trade today towards the 100, 101, 150, and euro dollar 130 is the key level. But as I said, 29.50 is a true support level that everybody should keep an eye on. That's pretty much how it trades. Wishing you guys the best of luck and the best of trading for the last day of the week. Hopefully, it'll be very volatile and fun like it was today. Over and out. One last thing, of course, read the disclaimer very carefully. Understand that trading forex and margin care is a high-level risk and may not be suitable for all investors.